What's up, fam? On this episode, we join hands to spread our message to the whole world. Our message of honesty, forgiveness, peace, and love among all earthly and wonderful souls. We shall be doing that by going through two very interesting compilation of good vibes videos. Videos from all over the globe, from different humans with different messages. And all these videos, my friend, are there for us to react to them together. So kindly leave your reactions in the comment section as you go on. And I would request you to watch till the end so that you don't miss out on any bit of these interesting videos. And my friend, as we dive in, my friend, it will be good that you also hear what the book of wisdom is telling us today, aka the guide of life. These people may call it the Bible, but because of how this book is full of wisdom, we call it the book of wisdom. And it says, do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you, a good measure used down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap. For this is the measure you use. It will be measured to you. That, my friends, is from Luke 6:37 going down. Wonderful source. Unconditional love for everyone means no judging anyone, just pure good vibes. And that is what we shall be spreading here today, but with the help of our Creator, God Almighty. So before we start, my friend, let's acknowledge our Creator with a word of thanks. Thank you, wonderful Father, for this wonderful good vibe soul that you created. This soul, Father, that you've directed them to join us today. All glory and honor, Father, belong unto you. Dear Lord, Father, this message we have of love and peace, as you spread it to the whole world with this soul, Father, may you please intervene in their lives, Father. Reveal yourself to them. Shed light on their lives, Father. May they see your goodness and your blessings all through their life, Father. And for that we shall be thankful, my Lord. Dear Lord, also, fill us with your spirit, dear Lord, and help those that shall see us in these videos see your goodness and love through us. In your holy name, King of Kings, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Let's dive in good vibes. So much love all the way.
You remember how I told you that me and hundreds of other people saw a black spot appear in the middle of the moon? I finally caught it on camera, and I'll show you here in a second, okay? Now, I took a video, and the video was only 10 seconds long, but in the middle of the video, I screenshotted where you can clearly see it. It only happened for about 5 seconds. But I kept trying to tell people something appeared in the moon, and it just spread out into a giant black circle in the middle of the moon. Nothing crossed over in front of the moon, which so many people keep talking about. I have no idea why the fuck you keep talking about that. It literally spread out in the middle of the motherfucking moon. And this time I went away from city pollution so I can actually get a clear photo if I was going to get a photo. And look what I motherfucking caught. What's that fucking look like? There's no glare on my camera, people. There's no other lights around me, okay? This is in the middle of the motherfucking woods. Tell me what that looks like. There's barely any clouds around, by the way, people. I mean, literally, somebody tell me what the fuck that is. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It literally just opened up once again in the middle of the moon. This is why I've been trying to tell everybody, just focus on the moon and please try to see it. And if you do see it, tell me if you saw it. Which, by the way, like I mentioned, hundreds of other people are seeing the same exact thing. So I'm not fucking crazy. This is literally confirming so many theories of the moon for me. And I've seen it on 3 separate occasions the past 3 nights.
Listen up, I want you guys to really think about this for a second. Where is Elon Musk getting all this information to come out with these crazy technological advancements? I mean, he can't be hiring people to give him this kind of information and these technological breakthroughs, right? Because he's the only one that's doing this kind of stuff, right? Okay, stay with me now. He's been exploring the deepest depths of the ocean, right? And now we're hearing the truth of aliens not coming from outer space, but the depths of the ocean, right? Are you starting to see where I'm going with this? Could it be that he's getting his breakthrough technology from these interdimensional beings from the deepest parts of the ocean?
So literally 2 minutes after sharing my last post about can you help me debunk these 5 alien pictures, I got a DM, sent me to a link, which is 4 years old, to a video, which I'm going to play a clip of that video now. I'm going to say fake, but I'll tell you what, this guy, he should be working in Hollywood, because it's very interesting. The beginning of it, for me, screamed fake. This part that I'm about to play, it's interesting. No, not for 1 minute am I saying this is real, because I've checked his channel out and he's got videos similar, not aliens, more paranormal stuff, and it's similar kind of spookiness to the video. So I think this guy is just a genius at making these type of videos, and to be fair, it's pretty good. It hasn't got a lot of views. It's probably never been seen by a lot of yous. I've never seen it. I've never come across this. So thank you to the guy who sent me this, the link for it, and thank you for being very quick. I think we have debunked it. I think me and Daniel can go to bed tonight, sleep well, knowing there
Separate beds, obviously.
aliens that look like that. For now.
My God. Is this a real alien or what's up? Look at the face, my friends. Looks like it's in agony. What's going on? Look at the eyes there. Oh my God. How do these creatures look like this? It's unbelievable. Look at how the eyes are, my friend. This creature does not seem happy. Oh, good vibes source. Or maybe it came across some humans that decided to use them for experiment services. Oh, they don't look happy at all. What's up with them? Look at the size of their eyes. This is unbelievable. It's hard to believe, my friend, from what you have seen in different episodes, that these creatures may be as wise as they say. You see? Huh? My God. Oh, this one looks like has been through a lot.
How to tell if someone's going to be a problematic person. So there are 3 traits that people can exhibit that will tell you if this person will essentially ruin your life. These are the biggest 3 red flags that I'll teach you to be aware of as a psychologist. So individuals that have problematic personalities, whether that's narcissistic, borderline, antisocial, typically exhibit 3 traits across the board. And these individuals don't necessarily have to have personality disorders. They can just be very high conflict people. And these types of people will essentially cause conflict, and they will not add to your life. And in worst case scenario, they will ruin your life. So the first thing to look out for is that these types of people will blame others for basically everything. Their lives, their flaws, their anything bad that happens to them, it's someone else's fault. So this overuse of blame is oftentimes a huge red flag in personality. So it's something to look out for. When somebody has a bad day, do they blame like literally everyone all of the time? Red flag. The second thing to look out for is black and white language. And what that means is that, does this person use a lot of extremes in their language? Like, people always take advantage of me. Or you're always doing this, or you're always doing that. Black and white language is indicative of a very rigid personality, which again, red flag. The more rigidity someone has in their mind, typically the less mental wellness they have. That's something to remember when you think about somebody else's psychology. And third, the last thing to look out for when you're looking for red flags in somebody's personality is to look for over-personalization. So what that means is that, let's say you're out to dinner with this individual and the waiter pours less in their cup than your cup, and they start to assume that the waiter has some kind of vendetta against them. Or they oftentimes kind of have this like victim mentality, like everyone's out to get them. This type of framework of seeing the world is usually very corrosive. And so on one side of the spectrum, it's that they always play the victim, or on the other side of the spectrum, they just have like this over personalization, like everyone's kind of like out to get them or like thinking about them, when like literally none of us are thinking about each other that much, and most of us know this. And so these three things, if you see these three things present in a person, these I think are the biggest red flags of problematic personalities or high conflict individuals, and you should definitely proceed with caution.
Why is it for thousands of years we called the creator by a certain name, and then within just the past couple hundred years, we've completely changed it to titles? Why is that? If you want to learn to say these names correctly, watch till the end of the video and follow, because I'm going to be posting stuff like this all the time. My last video, we talked about how God is not the name of the creator, how God is actually a Babylonian deity of fortune, but is also short for Gadriel, who was the serpent who deceived Eve in the garden. The Tetragrammaton was in place of the word Lord 7,000 times in the Old Testament alone. Our creator is not our Lord. He's not lording over us. This is supposed to be a relationship. He wants to be our friend. We are not servants to the creator. We are not his subjects, and he is not our master. He is our father. He's the one who breathed life into our lungs. In the book of Hosea, he says, "Stop calling me Baali." And that's translated from Hebrew. And Baali means Lord. Baali comes from the same word that Baal comes from. Baal is actually pronounced Baal, so Baali is just Bailey, basically. He says, "Stop calling me that." There's a reason why. He's not our master. We're not forced into this. There's a reason why he calls us the elect, because we elect to go into his covenant. It's not forced upon us. All of us have free will. If we know the Tetragrammaton is actually the real name of the Father, how do you pronounce it? Yahweh. Anybody who speaks Hebrew will say, oh, well, you're not putting the vowel points on that word. So if you put the vowel points on it, it's actually Jehovah, or in a Yiddish tongue, Yehovah. But Hova means wicked according to Strong's. So why would you want to say Yah the wicked by saying Yehovah? Why would you not want to say Yahuwah? Because Huah, according to Strong's, means he who breathes life. Yah who breathes life, or Yah the wicked? What would you rather say? You could say Yahweh if you want to. Without the vowel points, how can you explain that the second letter of Yahweh, the H, is an Ah in the beginning to make it Yah, and A at the end to make it Way? It should be Yahweh. Yahweh. And the W comes from the UA conjunction, like the word jaguar. When you say it, jaguar, it's like you're saying Jagwar, jaguar. But it's the UR, jaguar, like Yahuwah, Yahweh. Remember, 4 vowels. E, A, U, A. Yod, He, Vav, He. Yahuwah, Yahuwah.
What happens if you remove your CMOS battery out of your computer while it's still running? Well, let me show you. Because right now I got this computer up and running, but if we just take a little prying tool and release the CMOS battery, we can pull that out and see that the computer never stopped working. And we can even take that same battery and install it back in while the computer's running, like that. And yeah, it's still working. The system still functions. We can still access the internet. Nothing changed, and why the computer still functions is because your CMOS battery is only in charge of your real-time clock and remembering the BIOS settings when your system has no power. But because it's fully powered, there's nothing for it to forget.
This is what you look like after you come out of the crematorium. You're not ashes. After your bones cool off with this fan, your bones are taken to a grinder, which is over here, that grinds everything up. And then you're turned into that little powder that people call ashes.
Hi, my name is Lauren, and I'm a mortician, and we talk about death and dying on my channel. I didn't know that y'all didn't know that we have to pulverize the bones after we sweep them out of the crematory. I would have told you sooner if I would have known that you didn't know, but yeah, this is what you look like. And we sort through your bones after we sweep them out to make sure there's no metal or anything that could be harmful to the next part. The processor, or the machine that grinds the bones up into a powder. Did you know that there's different brands and different types of processors? That's probably something you didn't know also. This is one where you dump the bones onto this big rectangular tray, you sort through them, and then you sweep them right there into that little hole down into the grinder, the little pulverizer, which is right there. This is another kind of processor, and you can see the air filter up there. So when you pour the bones into the bucket there, this will pull the air away from you so you don't inhale any particles, people particles. And I've shown you ours a few times too. This is what ours looks like. What else are you dying to know? Let me know below.
Okay, this is Angela Ford. She just did an interview on the Sean Ryan show, and there's a part of it that is extremely spooky and scary. So if you believe in God, hell, whatever, if you don't, whatever, but there is an interesting thing in here for anyone. She is a remote viewer. She's worked for the CEI, FBI, and essentially, long story short, what a remote viewer is someone who is telepathic, who is, stick with me here, who can see in the future, the past, and this was a real thing that the government still uses. Okay, long story short, Sean, she's on the Sean Ryan show here, and Sean has already had a few remote viewers on. Very interesting. It's highly interesting stuff. But Angela, Sean asked her specifically, since you have this ability and it's been proven, you have a really strong track record, what are your thoughts on God, aliens? What do you believe? And her answer really wasn't that interesting. She believes in reincarnation, stuff like that. But Sean asked her outright, have you looked into the crucifixion of Christ? And she gave this look right here. You can go look at it. It's on YouTube, Sean Ryan show. But it was so intense and scary. She didn't say anything. She just shook her head and didn't want to talk about it. But it was just, it will literally give you chills when you watch it. It's almost like something from The Exorcist or something, but it's real life. You should probably check it out. Remote viewing is extremely interesting. It's a very interesting subject. Really check it out.
5 symptoms that indicate infertility even in your 20s when you're not even thinking about getting pregnant. Many of you may think you have time, but if you're experiencing these signs, it's important to address them now instead of waiting around. Because as longer you wait, as harder it will get. Number 1, irregular periods. If your cycles are all over the place, it could be a sign of hormonal imbalances or underlying conditions like ovulatory dysfunctions. If you do not ovulate, you can't get pregnant. Number 2, severe menstrual cramps. No, painful periods are not normal. They could mean you have estrogen dominance or endometriosis. And this all can affect your fertility. Hi, I'm Carmen. I'm a fertility nutritionist and I help women to get pregnant, stay pregnant and deliver healthy babies. And I also help women just to get their menstrual cycle back on track. And as earlier you start with that, as better and easier it will be in the end. If you're gaining a hell of weight and you don't know what's happening, this can also indicate hormonal issues like thyroid imbalances or insulin resistance. You could also have acne or excessive hair growth. These can be signs of elevated androgens. Androgens? No, whatever. And number 5 is you don't have any periods at all. That's not a flex. It might be convenient, but missing periods for months at a time isn't just a sign of stress. It could mean your body isn't ovulating regular. Again, no ovulation, no baby.
I personally believe this is one of the most important scientific discoveries of all time. I am really shocked that we didn't even learn this in school. This is some next level stuff, and it was verified to be true. Dr. Masarimoto, and what he discovered was, when you speak to the water and you say certain things like, I love you, or, you're my friend.
Or beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful, yeah. Angel. It could be simple, just like angel, happiness, peace. When you say these positive words to the water and then you freeze it, it makes beautiful shapes.
Most of the time they're symmetrical. They look like
you Google images. They have photos of this.
They look like snowflakes, like beautiful symmetrical snowflakes.
Now, when you say mean, nasty words to the water and then they freeze the water, it would make ugly
Asymmetrical.
repulsive shapes. Yeah,
Asymmetrical.
like cracks and looks like damage.
Bubbles.
And you basically prove that like your consciousness and your will combined with the intention behind your words affects reality. It's like the concept that like your words are magic, so much so that you change physical reality.
Yeah, it is quite literally proof that the things that come out of your mouth
change reality.
affect your physical surroundings.
When they say don't look up, it means you should probably be looking up. Every day it seems like there's some crazy stuff in the sky, and I have some other things to show you guys in a minute. What would y'all say that this is? We do projections, UFOs, UAPs, angels. I would guess a spiritual entity. The same with this one, but no, they're saying this is the country's new weapon, right? But what's funny is we used to see these in the sky all the time last year, and they said it was SpaceX. So which one is it? Is it a new weapon, or is it SpaceX? Yo, I'm pretty freaking sure that SpaceX is just to cover up the trail and the path flights of fallen angels. I mean, how else would they know when these meteors or devil's comets are coming? By the way, did you guys see the doomsday skies in Florida the other day? And this happened at the same time the volcano went off, but it also happened at the same time that everything's happening in the east right now. I don't think I've ever seen it so red outside. It has to mean something. And at the same freaking time, almost in Arizona, we had this. I'm telling you guys, something is coming. I don't know when, but I know it is.
Ah, my friends, look at this wonderful looking elephant munching on some sugarcane. Yo, these ones are masters of it. English people, please check out how you go around the sugarcane. In another episode, we saw some guy trying to eat sugarcane with a spoon. You see?
Guys, just look at this.
Christian nationalists walk around with a mouth full of scripture and a heart full of hate. Don't tell me what you believe. Show me how you treat other people, and I'll tell you what you believe. Jesus didn't tell us to love our churches. He didn't tell us to love our doctrines and our creeds. He didn't even tell us to love our scriptures. He told us to love our neighbors. And there was no exception to that commandment. Love thy neighbor, regardless of race, class, gender, sexual orientation, or immigration status. One of my favorite theologians, Barbara Brown Taylor, once wrote, "The only clear line I draw these days is this. When my religion tries to come between me and my neighbor, I will choose my neighbor. Jesus never commanded me to love my religion." You know what's interesting? Not once in the entire Bible does Jesus ask us to worship him. All he asks is that we follow him. Love like he loved. Love the outcast. Welcome the stranger. Feed the hungry. Heal the sick. Free the oppressed. As the hymn says, they will know we are Christians by our love. We have to get back to that.
Take a look at this.
Women, be careful with saying, "I don't need a man," because the enemy fears you being under a man's headship. If you're under that man's headship, the enemy can't even touch you. The only way he can is if he gets you separated from your husband. He'll have to wait until your husband is away to get inside your mind. If you have a praying husband and he's praying over that household, demons can't even live there. They're uncomfortable. You can sleep peacefully. Be careful with saying, "I don't need a man." You're basically putting death on yourself and your household. You're saying that there will never be a man worth needing in my house. Start asking God, start praying, "God, bless me with the man that I do need." That's needed. I need his warrior spirit. I need his intelligence. I need his wisdom. I need that guiding me. I need that. I don't want to curse my household before it was ever created. I don't want to curse myself before I ever received it. Be careful with saying, "I don't need a man."
Guys, just look at this.
Ladies are meant to submit to their husbands because we are the helpers of men. That statement used to bother me so much. As a former boss babe gone soft and preparing myself to be a godly wife, I finally can put into perspective what that actually means. So one, I've been seeing the word as helper as less than, but that is so far from the truth. Because how many times has Jesus put himself in a position where he was a helper of people? That never lessened his importance. And the word submit used to feel like a weaker position. But the further along in your personal development you become, the more you realize that in order to submit, it actually requires a strong sense of self. It is a strong level of discernment and choosing who you submit to. That doesn't just mean you submit to anyone. Because the people who can humble themselves in knowing that they don't know it all and are willing to take a backseat and trust equals a deep sense in trust in self.
Hi, my God, what is this? Is this an animal?
There's not very many things that are this color in the forest. This is green elf cup, also known as green wood cup. You may not see this blue color in nature very often because this pigment is only created by Chlorocyborea, which is a group of fungi that create this beautiful blue-green colored pigment called xylindian. It's pretty uncommon to see its fruiting bodies, which is when it looks like this. It's more common to see the mycelium, which appears as a blue-stained wood. Keep your eyes out for this beautiful blue color on your next walk in the forest.
This woman was abducted by aliens in 2016, and apparently she's been abducted many times before that and probably many times since that, because this abduction, they told her they were doing a check-in. I hear about check-ins a lot from different stories that I read that people send to me and different videos that I'm tagged in, and apparently there's like certain people that are getting abducted, right? And a lot of those people, the aliens are coming back to check in on them multiple times over their lives. The videos that she made talking about her abduction story all stem from this video that she made. This was a short video where she was saying that aliens wear contacts when coming to visit us, and that's why all of their eyes look black, is because they're literally wearing contacts. And she says she knows this because she was abducted and she saw an alien remove its contacts and that the eyes looked completely different underneath. Someone obviously was like, I'm sorry, you were abducted. Can we hear the story? And then she posted 2 videos, part 1 and part 2, telling her story of her abduction. I'm going to put them both in the same video for you here, one after the other, and I'm also going to be tagging her in the description. Her story is so crazy and so interesting, and I want to say we believe you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
When I was home in 2016 in Alexandria, Virginia, I was abducted by aliens from my bed. They came, they paralyzed me. I woke up around 4 o'clock in the morning. I was in bed by myself. I was laying back and I couldn't move anything. What I did notice is that my body started turning into particles. Like you know when you see a video and they have like the souls are lifting out of the body, but this time my soul and body, I don't know what it was, but it was turning into particles, and like you could see it turning into like see-through and getting out of my body. So I'm like, okay. I close my eyes, I open it up again, and I'm in a dark room and there's a light on top of me. I'm naked at this time. I'm looking around and I'm like, oh my God, and it's not like I'm looking around like I can move my head. No, I'm literally like this, like barely an inch moving around. And when I finally looked down at my feet like this, there was a white guy in a suit with sunglasses by my left foot. He saw that I woke up. He had sunglasses in the dark room. He saw that I woke up. And you know what he did? He took 2 steps back into the dark. So imagine being in a pitch black room and there's only one light right on top of you. I can't move, and I'm like, so I'm like, okay, I fall back asleep. I don't remember what happened. I wake up. And this time when I wake up, there's an alien right there on my left side, right here. He was standing right here. Like if I'm laying down, he's standing right here. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? And I'm like looking around and there's another alien on my right side. And I'm like, oh my God. So then the alien looks at me and he goes, he leans in, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my goodness. He touches me here. As soon as he touched me, he talked to me telepathically. He was like, don't worry, you've been here many times. Stop freaking out. You know what's happening. And I'm like, and I'm still shaking, right? He was like, speak telepathically, speak with your minds. Speak with your mind. And I'm like, so I'm like, what is he talking about? My head, I don't know, my head was racing. Guys, it's creepy. Being abducted by aliens is creepy. And like me, I wasn't really into it. Like, you know, I heard stories and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm like freaking out. And he was like, speak telepathically. Relax. You've done this many times. So I'm like, okay. Finally, I took his advice, right? And mind you, this is all happening in a couple seconds. In my mind, it's feeling like a couple seconds, right? He's still working. He's standing here and he's working somewhere. I don't know what he's doing. I can't see. You know what I mean? I can't move my head this time. I just move my eyes. And so I finally
got it that I have to speak telepathically. Okay, I don't know, for some reason I just knew what to do. And I looked at him in his eyes. And he tells me again, relax, you've been here before. And I'm like, oh my goodness, and I'm still freaking out. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, what am I doing here? It's like, what's going on? And he goes, relax, you've been here before. Just relax, we're doing our little checkup on you. You know what's going on, just relax. He touches me again. Guys, when he touches me again, I pass out. When I wake up again, just for a quick second, not a quick second, probably like 5 to 10 seconds, I see him taking off his he had like a suit, but he also had something over his suit. So he took it off, and right in front of me, he literally took off his coat and he cleaned his hands. I don't know if I think he had gloves out at the moment. He cleaned out his hands, and I saw him like this. And this was looking at me. And I'm like, okay, like at the moment when I saw his eyes, I was shocked. But and immediately in the same second, I was like, I've been here before. I know exactly what's going on. Like, this is okay. Like, I'm just going to chillax. Let them do what they have to do. I'm just going to relax and just, I'm going to wake up and this is going to be, all done and over with. Like, obviously I've done this before. Like, let me just relax. And I'm like, okay, like at the moment when I saw his eyes, I was shocked. But and immediately in the same second, I was like, I've been here before. I know exactly what's going on. Like, this is okay. Like, I'm just going to chillax. Let them do what they have to do. I'm just going to relax and just, I'm going to wake up and this is going to be, all done and over with. Like, obviously I've done this before. Like, let me just relax. So then I look at the alien. I'm like, well, I look at him and I speak to him. I'm like, what am I doing here? I don't remember. What am I doing here? He was like, we're creating the perfect humans. The world, there's going to be a presidential election, and with a female. It was not Hillary Clinton, and I visioned it. And I told all my family this, but he gave me visions, the world, and some little facts here and there about that I already have 3 hybrid children, and they know everything about me. They have pictures, they know my name, they know my kids, my real kids. But he looked at me, he was like, you would never meet them. They know you, but you would never meet them. He was like, we're using your DNA. So it's not only me, guys. There's several people throughout here. There are undercover, alien hybrid people, and not like they're real aliens. They're actually just using them as a machine, because you're literally recording everything through your eyes. They could dictate your emotions. They know your emotions. They know what you're doing, what you're thinking. And when you get brought up to this spaceship, they download everything. They know how you react, your feelings. Why do you feel that way? How do you think? Why are you thinking that way? Why are you doing this? They know all of that. Literally, it's like our eyes, our souls are their portals, so they can see what's going on in the world, because they know in the future there's going to be a huge explosion. And they showed me where, and if you look through my old TikTok videos,